covered in oil, don't stand next to a fire.
What'd you do with my trailer?
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
Don't you know the building is on fire?
Fire! Fire!
Hey, welcome back to Trailer Fire. I'm your host, Travis Stevenson. With me always, my hetero life mate, John Murphy.
I'm here.
Back.
I'm here.
One episode without him, and I already had fucking comments about where's Murphy.
Did you really?
Yeah, Blue Ridge Comedy Club commented and like cocksuckers.
People care, and that's important to me.
Well,
that's okay. I stream video games at night sometimes, and I've got a dude that's always in my chat every time I stream. Huge shout out to my bro Isaiah from what's the land of 10,000 lakes?
Minnesota.
From Minnesota. MN, right?
Yeah.
That's the abbreviation. Yeah. And I was
Could
talking
also
to
be
him,
Montana or Maine. I never really learned my state abbreviation.
and we were talking about something. And I was like, yeah. He asked about comedy because he saw me on Instagram, and he's like, do you still do that? And I was like, no, my buddy does. We actually have a podcast together. Blah blah blah. And he's like, where's the podcast? Well, he binged all of our episodes in one night. Which, can you imagine listening to us ramble
For 2.5 hours. It's not like we have an extensive library.
So he was like, I got one more episode left, but Travis is hilarious. I need a shout out from him. I'm like, what about me? You're here for me.
Hey, what's up, Isaiah?
Yeah.
What's up, Isaiah, you silly motherfucker?
He's
Out there in the land of 10,000 lakes.
I was like, damn, this is supposed to be for me.
Actually,
But
I applied
I'll make sure
for
you
being
get
a
a shout
festival.
out from the other guy.
I applied for the 10,000 Laughs Comedy Festival in Minnesota, so
go see
Isaiah,
him.
if I get in, we'll do something. And I'm going to introduce you guys to my new personality.
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think? Does this fit the vibe of the pod? Not even a little bit.
I mean, to be fair, what's the vibe of the pod?
I don't know, but I thought that I see so many cool musicians and like bluegrass people and fucking Charlie Crockett and all these guys, and they've got hats. I'm like, the cowboy hat's making a comeback. I was in Vail and I was walking around and all the rich people were dressed like cowboys. And I always thought like, if you wore a cowboy hat as your dress uniform, that either you were a cowboy in Texas or you were an asshole. I was like, you're just some redneck that's just like, you're trying to make a statement with your head. It's like people who open carry at Hobby Lobby. It's like, you want people to know.
Fuck Hobby Lobby. I've got a whole thing. But
You and me both, brother. Very different reasons, I'm sure. But I saw all these guys wear it, and I was like, is the cowboy hat coming back? And I went into this place called Kimosabi, and that fucking sick name, by the way.
Yeah, it's
all kinds of cool shit. And I walk in there and I see these cool hats, and I'm like, dude, you know what? Time to be an individual. Time to do my own thing that everyone else is also doing. And I'm going to get me a fancy hat. And they're like, oh, yeah, this is 100% beaver belly. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Of course, you got to have beaver fur on your hat.
yeah. Is that what that is, beaver?
No, this is beaver rabbit blend.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that makes it slightly cheaper.
Slightly. It depends
Keep
on
going
the
there.
X's. So this would be like a 10X, which is still, we'll get there. So I was at Kimosabi, and I go to grab a hat, and I pick up the base model, which is like a hat that has not been shaped, no accoutrements, no fucking feathers, nothing. And it was $1,800
Jesus Christ.
starting out. And I'm like, this hat better suck and fuck me for $1,800.
So wait,
dude.
how much do you have in that guy?
Oh, I didn't pay for it. So anyways,
How much does someone have in that guy?
probably a decent amount. Definitely not $1,800, but maybe almost a third.
Jesus Christ.
So my brother and sister-in-law and Kayla, we all went to Nashville for my birthday. So I did that show at the Wallace Theater for my little birthday show, which was awesome. And then afterwards, we just drove straight down to Nashville. We were only there for a couple of days. But then I wake up, I'm still kind of groggy because we didn't get in until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's late. I'm kind of tired. Haven't really slept. And then I'm getting like a coffee. And then Zach gives me a card. And inside of it, they'd written like this riddle that I have to like decipher.
Yeah.
And it was really shitty. I was like, did ChatGPT do this? Because the answer immediately, I'm like, it's a hat. The answer is a hat. And I'm like, cool. You guys are going to get me a hat? That's cool. I didn't know. I was thinking like a baseball hat or
Which
just
I'd be so
fucking
pumped
stoked
about.
with.
Yeah.
But then we go into this place and like, no, you're going to get a custom hat from this place called Rustler. We have a time spot. We're going to go in there and they're going to shape it to your head. They're going to let you pick out what style fits your face and your vibe. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. And I go in there.
It's a sick present.
And then the first thing they do is they're like, hey, you're getting a hat? Well, grab yourself a beer, buddy. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, I'm going to grab myself a beer. I know it's 9 a.m., but I'm going to get me for free beer for my experience, for my birthday. Hell yeah. Go to grab a beer. And I'm like, damn, this is cool, dude. Man, what a fun experience. We should do this with like the fellas. This would be a great bro trip. And I look around. I'm the only dude in there. It's just hot 50-year-old rich women with Botox face. Getting their hat, their big wide rim Quaker Oats, stupid fucking hats. They look like oatmeal bitches. Just
stupid bitches. I'm gonna fuck that hat right off.
I'm
you,
fucking
you
dumb.
wrinkly old bitch.
And I wanted to have like a shorter brim. I was like, give me something comical. And she's like, well, we got to fit your face. And I was like, well, I don't really want like a cowboy hat. I want something like that says bluegrass musician. You know Ralph Stanley. Give me one of those big brim curves, tiny. And she's like, what? Here's the thing though, your face. Fat, wide. We're gonna call it a squoval. It's a square, oval. We're gonna have to. So I'm gonna go with a cattleman. And I was like, well, I got narrow shoulders. You better cut that brim way down. And she's like, once again, the face.
No, I have a hat picked out for your big stupid face.
Your big stupid face.
It's this one, and there's no other one for you. See, all of these would look great on someone who isn't a big stupid fathead. But for you, we're going to go with the cattleman.
And then she's like, here's what we're going to do next. She goes, this is the part where you're going to break out your camera. So she shapes it in my face. She steams it. She's doing all the things. Then she just gets a bunch of alcohol and goes, lights that bitch on fire.
She burned your hat?
Yeah, burned the shit out of my hat. And then she's like, do you want a match in there? I was like, I feel like you just seem like a matches kind of guy. And I'm like, I'm glad that you picked up on that. I've always been saying that. I've been
throwing match around and not one bitch has picked it up.
It's like, hey, matches. So they put a match in it. I don't know if you can see that. And then they lit it on fire and burned a hole in the side of this very expensive hat. And then she's like, you're going to get to pick out your brands now. Do you want to pick out brand? I didn't know that every single little thing that I did was adding like $50. Really? But I was just like, yeah, she says I get to pick out what brands I want. I'm going to go with 2. So I went with an S. They have these little, so stupid. Like, this is purely a white girl invention of the last 3 or 4 years. They take these teeny tiny little branding irons, hit it with a butane torch, and then just stick it in whatever. Hats, jeans.
It's the new age hipster version of like the monogrammed cups.
100%. This is bedazzling.
Yeah.
So they put a brand in it, and I was just like, hell yeah. It smelled like shit. I don't know if you've ever burnt rabbit fur, but it smells like burnt.
I haven't.
It's disgusting.
I have burned a few beavers, though, if you know what I'm saying.
Lift
that some bitch up.
Well, yeah, it's friction because they weren't wet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. Do you blame them? Look at me.
Anyways, what I'm going to say is, what do you think about branding objects? Are you a fan of that?
Moons?
No, just branding in general to personalize something. Would you brand something, or you think it's stupid?
I like personalizing things. I'm a big fan of that. I don't know if I would.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Don't say anything else.
I don't know if I would ever brand anything because I don't have anything branded. Oh, that's sick. Oh, what is that for me?
That's for you, dude.
No fucking way.
Yeah. We branded the M in there. And it's a leather koozie, which I don't know if you mix the water with the koozie, if it's going to be...
Oh, it's going to get supple.
It's going to get so gross.
It's got duck honey on the front of it.
Now, the reason we bought that was because once we walked into Kimosabi, that was the cheapest thing, and we had to walk away with something. So.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm a coolie collector.
Oh, nice.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
You haven't seen my coolie collection?
I've just seen you had a bunch of them, but I just figured you was at
that's what I
someplace.
get. That's what I get anytime I go somewhere. That's my like collector item.
You know how like old men love like a free hat?
Yeah.
Like that's big to them. Like, I ain't gonna do business at Allstate no more. They done quit giving out no hats, no pens, and can't get nothing. I figured that was you with the koozies, dude.
No, I was buying them. That's so sick though. I have to get bigger beers. The Make Ultras aren't fitting in here.
Yeah, I figured Busch Light would.
How crazy is it that you got a coolie and didn't even know I collected them?
And I got duck hunting because I knew you were,
Gay.
Yeah. He likes Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
I like shooting birds in the face and then throwing them on the grill and eating them some bitches.
So that was my that's my thing is I got the hat and then I was like, cool.
It works too. I was able to.
It already feels colder.
Yeah.
I got the hat and then I was just like, damn, this is gonna be cool. I'll walk down Broadway if we go to Station Inn.
You got me a present for your birthday.
Oh no, this was in Vail.
Oh,
that was at Kimosabi. Once again.
Oh, I thought Kimosabi was in Nashville.
No, they branded that, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna let Murphy have the only thing branded. So I'm like, I'm actually pretty familiar with this.
You got me a just because present?
Yeah.
That's so sweet of you. I love how you think of me like my wife never will. It's It's big.
Well, my thing is like we get to travel around to do all this comedy shit, and like I understand that. Not first off, dude, that is a thing that I don't know if it's just people from our area or Kayla's family or what, but people get mad that we travel. They're like, God, y'all travel a lot. Y'all go a lot of places. I'm like, yeah, that's why we don't have kids.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Vacations when I was a kid was just the county fair.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah.
Dad's like, well, we're going to get you about 20 tickets and then we're going to call it. All right. But then happy vacation.
Well, I went to Myrtle. I can't say that.
Occasionally I go to Myrtle or, Dollywood. So now that we can explore a little bit more, it's like we do it. But for me, I'm like the type of person that I'm not selfish with experiences. I want to share it with anybody. Mm-hmm. Like I know some people are like, this is just going to be a boys trip, or this is just going to be a me and my wife trip. This is just a romantic trip. I'm like, nah, I don't fucking anybody want more the merrier.
Yeah.
I love big groups because that way when you see the things, you can like, oh, hey, yeah.
Oh, neat.
Whoa, they burn it.
Neat.
Yeah, it is neat. Hey, and then 6 weeks later, you're like, you remember when they were burning shit in Vail, Colorado? How crazy was that?
That's so sick. It's sad how pumped I am over a coolie. By the way, they're called coolies, not koozies.
They're not koozies?
I mean, sure.
What is koozie a brand name? Like Kleenex?
No. It's just another name for them. But this is a debate that I've had with several people over it. They're like, why are you calling it a coolie? It's a koozie. It's a beer koozie. I'm like, sure, that's the way it's labeled. But what does it do?
It cools it.
It's a coolie. So we got in a huge argument over that one
It doesn't cooze.
with Alex, looked it up, and the first two is coolie koozie. That's the two things. And then the third alternative that some people call it, care to make a guess?
Can jacket.
Coldy holdy.
I like that the best.
I hate that.
Hand me the Cody Holdy.
I hate that.
Especially
so
with our
much.
accent. Give me that Cody Hody.
That Cody Hody.
I'm going to put the hat back on. I took it off and I felt naked. Did you guys see the turkey
I can't be
feather?
the only one with leather around here.
Oh, man. I did get you a leather present. That seems a little erotic.
Hey, like I said, I love that you think about me like my wife never will.
Because, like, here's the thing. Probably as much fun as Vail was, I can't ever see myself going back there.
Really?
One, way too rich.
Yeah.
If you guys watch the solo ep of me up there talking about Vail, that's all I do is just talk about how poor I am because I've never been to a place.
I haven't watched that episode yet. I haven't had time.
Never been to a place where there's that much
That
fucking
being
money.
said, I did spend 6 hours on a lawnmower today. Could have totally listened to it. I just don't care enough about us.
I don't blame you. I haven't listened to their shit either.
I had to let that out. I felt like I was lying to you after you gifted me a wonderful present.
I told you about that guy. Did I tell you about that guy? He tipped me $20 for doing a set.
I saw a post, but I didn't see.
So yeah, I was on stage, I had a set, and I got off, and a guy just goes and throws up a $20 bill, and he's like, "Here, buy yourself a drink." And I was just like, "You could have just said nice set, dude."
Yeah. That's tipped for comedy. That's not a thing that people do, I don't think.
No, but that just lets you know this guy's got so much money that even when his wife does like, "Oh, here, thanks for taking care of the kids. Here's $20."
That's how like he doesn't know how to interact without doing that.
It's just like, "Hey, thank you for that $20."
That'd be nice. Maybe
just
I'll
do
start
it-
doing comedy again, exclusively in Vail.
Oh man, I was telling Kayla too. I was like, man, this elevation up here is really helping my sinuses because like it might be a little too much information, but I felt like my sinuses were draining and like my head was opening. I was like, God, I can breathe so clearly up here, probably because there's no allergens and stuff. And it's like, no, I was dying. Like I felt good for about 6 hours, and then I woke up the next day and I was like, man, my nose is all stopped up, and I went to blow it. Just blood.
Oh, nice.
It is a high plains desert, so like it's
Yeah.
so dry up there, dry, rich, and expensive. Yeah.
So while you were doing that, my wife's birthday weekend celebration, she's one of those bitches that like it's her birthday month. It's not a birthday. So all of June, I'm just fucking throwing money in the trash. And she wanted to go to the Biltmore, which for those uninitiated people away from here, that's just an old rich people's house in North Carolina.
And they're like, but it's the biggest house in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they do tours, and you pay an extravagant amount of money to walk around some old dead rich man's house and listen to one of the, it has like those museum things. Have you ever been there?
Oh, yeah.
With the little phone thing you hold up?
Nope. We just walked around. The whole time I was just like, yeah, that's a plaster wall. I wouldn't fuck with that. That electrical's not updated. Ooh, shoe gone.
That's like, once I got over, like, damn, it must have sucked for the guy who put this crown molding in.
Yeah.
Because it's like 4 layers and it's all like uniquely bound to each corner. And I was like,
You'd have to have one hell of a coping saw to cut down.
I bet you he went through the blades, buddy.
You know, like our dads would go to a carnival and they would like complain about the welds.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, they were running that one hot. Oh gee, how do you pass that one? That's us when we go to the Biltmore.
So we go through like the first, and it is like it's a big fucking house. Like I don't know what I expected when I turned that corner to walk down that wonderful lane of driveway. When you have to park away from it. You can't park at the house, obviously, and then you just walk through like a nature path, turn a corner, and then boom, there's a house, and it's a big fucking house, and like the excitement or the thrill or whatever that I got at the moment I turned that corner and saw the house stayed there all day. Like it never was like, I can't wait to get in and see the cool stuff. And then I get in, I'm like, it's not as neat as turning that corner and seeing how big this goddamn house was. So we just, and it's like, they have the little information things. Like it's like looks like a little remote control, and you have numbers on it. I assume people who are like learned and adventurous go to museums and shit have dealt with this before, but it's like a informational thing you hold up to your ear. So you go in, there's like a sign on the wall. It's like, this is room number 1. Hit 1 and listen. It's like, this is the blah, blah, blah room where George blah, blah, blah. And
in 1937.
yeah. But here's the thing that pissed me off. And I made it through 3 rooms before Alex was already tired of hearing me complain about this. But I was like, the information that they give is worthless information. Here's what I want to know if I'm in an old ass, cool ass, giant ass house. I want to know who built it, how long it took, how hard it was, how much did it cost, what were the problems when they retrofitted it to bring plumbing and shit like this. That's old as fuck, you know. What were the issues there? And they're like, this is the tapestry room. This is where he hung his tapestries. If you'll notice on the left, there are 3 tapestries. They're called Garden of Eden, Evil's Love, and Neptune's Lust. The tapestries are hung on the left wall to prevent them from getting sun damage. We moved them in 1997. They have maintained color. I don't give a fuck about the rugs. This is a house.
They let some girlfriend write all the stories.
Dude, it's unbearable.
So much information that you just don't give a shit about.
Then we get to the music room, right? And I'm like, all right, here's where it's like, they always start the little thing with the same thing. It's like, imagine yourself in 1917. George is in his chair reading one of his famous books. Lila's there playing with the children. Some of the servants bring you a sweet tea with lemonade. And you're like, that's how it starts. They're like trying to put you in. I'm like, this sounds awful because there's no AC in here. You know how I know? Because they've got 75 of those metal big ass fans, and I'm not talking big asses in their size. I'm talking the brand big ass fans that are just stuck in every corner with extension cords running through. It looks like a construction site.
Extension cords because the electrical has not been updated since George sat in the parlor room with his swamp ass.
I was like, so we walk into the music room, and before it's like room 13 or whatever, I was like, before we hit these buttons, I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark. It's going to start with, imagine yourself here with the orchestra of the servants playing you lullabies. And we start it, and it's like, this is the music room. We think. Like, wait, what? Like, we're not sure if it was we set it up what we think was probably like a music room.
Wouldn't it be cool if his tone changed? Because this is the music room we think. I mean, really, it was the only place a piano would fit and was heavy, so we didn't want to move it. So now it's the music room.
And then what we do know this room was used for is during World War II, a bunch of valuable art was placed here to keep it from getting harmed during the war. And like, no one knew except George, his wife, and their 167 servants.
Oh, yeah, you know how servants are getting paid so well.
Tight circle there, George.
Those 167 people that you guys are just with fat salaries, they're not going to think, man, I bet I could pawn this fucking Monet painting.
So we get like, it's like a 3-minute speech talking about the art that was in here. There were Rembrandts and Michelangelos and all this stuff that they kept in here from, you know, whenever to whenever. And then finally they removed them and put them back in the museums and everything. It was like a safe haven because no one thought to look in this old ass house in the middle of North Carolina mountains. And then the thing stops and I go, so is this the music room? And she's like, I don't. So I started over and it's like, we believe this was the music room, maybe. it's
If you're playing it a third time because you're still unsure if this is the music room, yes.
maybe. So yeah, that was and then we're like, it takes you through the upstairs first if you go in order, right? So you're going through the upstairs and it's like, this is the ladies' changing room. And this is the third ladies' changing room. And this is see they how all have a theme? And I'm like, what is the theme? Old? The theme, it's not like, here's the NASCAR room and here's the Mickey Mouse room. It's like, this one's green. And this one is lighter green.
That is funny that because they didn't have Mickey Mouse, obviously. So it's hilarious that your brain went straight to themes have to be Carowin rides.
I mean, well, okay.
Rides at Carowin.
Make it old themes. Like, I don't know, fucking dirt and goose plucking. I don't know what people did back then. But like, the theme was just a difference in color.
Yeah.
So
you ever played Clue?
Sure. But here's my problem with that. Don't call it a theme. Say every room has a different color. Theme is like, if this one, okay, here's something they could have done. This is the flower room. We painted a bunch of flowers on the wall. We have a bunch of flower vases. The next one is more of a arid theme where there's a lot of rocks and like there were no themes. It was an identical room with 3 different shades of green. And they're like, notice the extreme difference in theme throughout these rooms.
But it's probably like they just call them that because they can't use their original names. Like, oh, this is the slave kicking quarters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one thing I will say about
this is what you used to. This is the women's act right room. So when your wife was, this is where you go to tell her twice.
So this is like North Carolina, probably not the like safe space ally central of the world, but specifically Asheville, which is where the Biltmore is like the
crunchiest,
wokest,
liberalist.
Yeah, buddy. That shit stops at the gate.
Yeah, they're like, they shoot Subarus on sight.
Dude, like the town.
You have a coexist sticker, they will tase you.
The first room that they talk about servants, I was like, man, they're okay just talking about it, huh? But like the further you go in the house, the more comfortable they get talking. They're like, and see if you look on the, like this room is full of like the first indoor plumbing, like, you know, the innovations made in history. Electrical lines that were put through the walls that's never been done up until this point. Like, it's crazy, the innovations. And the thing that they point out first is like, if you'll notice right above the bathtub, there's a button. There's buttons everywhere. They're like, that button's to get a slave in here. So these people were rich, but they were super rich. They had slave button richness. Like every time they're like, and the servant button is here in this room. Like they're so proud
were they
of
servants or slaves? Because I feel like
they said servant, but we know.
I feel like it's post-slavery though, right?
I don't know.
You listen to 14 different thingies.
They said servant. They never said slave.
I'm thinking they were.
But
servants.
like, dude, what's the difference?
Yeah, like, bing. Hey, you bring me another beer. I'm out. That would fucking.
It would be sick
to get a bathtub beer on command.
Yeah, but
dude, I was just saying how like I always bring 2 beers to the bathtub and they always get warm and like.
Yep. That's a problem. It's a problem that needs solved.
Babe, we need to get us a slave button.
Well, I don't know if I'd say it like that. I might rearrange the words.
Dude, I had another one of those moments. So we were the only time I've ever listened to any of this stuff at any museum ever. So me and Kayla were up in Cleveland, and sometimes we'll go to the art museums because half the time they're free.
Yeah.
So it's just a good way to dick around, kill time, and plus they're just cool. So we went to the Cleveland Art Museum. They had a knight in shining armor exhibit, so you could go see all this medieval fucking swords. And also,
sick.
Everybody tiny as hell, dude.
Yeah.
The helmets were like this big. So like that was cool. And then we went.
Oh, y'all's fighting babies back in?
Yeah. They
probably I've heard of cockfighting. Baby fighting's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's just the toddler infantry. Don't even worry. But we went into this one room and like there was all this ancient shit. So there was like this ancient bronze work, and they're like, "Oh, this is from 2000 BC when they started doing bronze work," and you could see the intricate designs and stuff. And then we looked at another one. It's like, "Oh, this is ancient rock work and stone work from 5000 BC." We're like, "Damn!"
That's
and
old.
then we went one over, and it was from like someplace in. I don't know if it was South America or if it was Africa, but it was like jungle sculptures.
Yeah.
It was just like wooden carvings of people with too many teeth.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, those must be ancient. And it was like, these are on loan. They were made in 1985. And I was just like, oh, shit.
Actually, the guy who made them is right there.
Because like when you were watching, like as it got older, it got shittier and shittier and shittier. And I was like, well, based on the quality, this is gonna be old as fuck.
I've got so many more stories from my trip to Asheville.
Let's hear 'em.
That brought up a whole nother thing I totally forgot. But let me finish my Biltmore thing. So anyway, we're going across the top floor. They're showing all the different themed rooms and the servant buttons and all this stuff. And Alex was like, "You seem upset." I'm like, "I'm a little upset." And she's like, "Are you bored?" And I'm like, "No. Yes, but no." Here's what pisses me off. This dude has more money than God. Like, this dude spent millions of dollars when millions of dollars meant billions of dollars. This dude is as rich comes.
Dude's got a slave button. He's fucking loaded.
He doesn't have a job. All his money come from his dad's wealth, right? So he doesn't even have to work to make this. He's just fucking rich. Like, his job is being that guy. And this is the most boring rich dude house. Like, dude, where is the fucking fun?
Sex dungeon, dude.
Yeah, where's this weird shit, right? And that's why I was like, can we get like a fucking, like, I don't know what sports there's got to be like an indoor croquet court or.
Oh, did you see the pool?
Oh, that's what I'm getting to. So I'm complaining about all this. I was like, you don't have an indoor pool. You don't have like a tennis court or whatever they did back then. Like, this is a giant, unbelievable, huge mansion. There's got to be a room for the fun shit, right? And Alex goes, "Oh, don't worry. Just wait. Just wait." And she does that coy like, "Oh, you're going to be blown away." So finally we go down these steps and it's just the basement, right? And then I think the first room you come to is like the workout room. And it's a gym. It's got showers and like these are the first showers of this kind with the spigots coming out of the wall. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, sprayed with a water hose. Where's the cool shit? And then we
Really blowing my hair back, Biltmore.
and then we walk through.
Oh, showers that look like showers? Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Babe, you ain't gonna believe this. They got showers that function as showers.
It's unbelievable shit going on here. And then we walk through the glorious door to the swimming pool, and it is a tile tub in the basement.
It's a Subway tile tub.
Yeah.
It literally is like, it's like a garden tub in a double wide.
And it's like, it leaked and drained itself into the earth under the basement in 1987. We'll probably never fill it back up. That's what the thing said in my ear. It'll probably never be filled again. I'm like, you made $200 and some a piece for us to be here today, and you can't get some goddamn caulk?
Dude.
Dude, I've got flex tape in my truck.
I got a can of Flex Seal in the truck right now, and I've never used it. You just never know when something might
This
be
is
wet.
the big it moment. This is the cool thing. This is the unbelievable. He has his own indoor swimming pool in 19 whatever, and you can't fucking put some water in the goddamn thing?
That is fucking wild. You're just staring at an empty pool. And there's nothing sadder than it. At least let some kids skate it. Like,
Put some graffiti in there. Where's Thundar at? You know?
Thundar's living, dude. You ain't got time to come to this boring ass place.
But yeah, and then like the thing is like it was unheard of for people to even know how to swim back in the day because they never had an opportunity to do that. Like no one had a pool.
Is
and
that
I'm
just
like,
because there was 200 people in the house? 2 of them were Biltmores, and then the rest were people who couldn't swim.
well, the thing's talking about how people can't swim. And the thing that like I started laughing and Alex was like, quiet. But it was like, the thing's like, it was relatively unheard of to even know how to swim back then because most people didn't have the luxury of owning a swimming pool. I'm like, yeah, but we got rivers.
Yeah, the
and
French
lakes
Broad
and
River's a big ass
ponds. Like, that's like one of the thing of like old timey movies is like, we're going to go to the swimming hole.
Oh, yeah.
People swim.
Swimming hole is not a new term. That's like if you hear swimming hole, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a period piece. Yeah, there's gonna be some people in some weird haircuts.
So that looking into the pool and there's like a hemp rope draped across it, and that's like for people to hold on to because swimming's hard. And I'm like, all right. And this pool is just like out 2 foot and straight to 15 foot. Right? It's a big hole in the ground. And we leave the pool room, and I'm like, well, that's pretty tough. Pretty tough that was. And then
The grand finale.
The grand finale is they take you through the servant area where the kitchen and all of this stuff is. But the problem is they are unabashedly telling you how awful it was to live and work here. And they say servant, they don't say slave, but the whole time I'm like, this is slaves, right? They're like, and the servants' rooms were here. It was 4 to a bunk. And the room is half the size of old bitch's bathroom upstairs. And then you go through the kitchen, and the one takeaway I had of this place, besides the huge letdown of the pool and the super subpar brisket mac and cheese from the restaurant and these massive grounds with all these ponds and everything that would be so awesome to live. Like, most people are thinking like, God, can you imagine the opulence and extra? The number one thing I got away from is that stove in that kitchen was too small to serve 200 people, dog. It was a Blackstone, and not like just like a regular Blackstone grill. Like, it was a griddle, and they had like a rotisserie room where they made rotisserie. The whole room is dedicated to just a fire and a spinning thing. And the best they can come up with is a stove the size of this countertop. There's 200 people in here, dog. What are you making? And that has haunted me since I left. I'm
What
like,
if it wasn't even for the servants?
Where'd they put the other stove? There's another room.
What if it wasn't even for the servants? It was just for hibachi night because fucking George went to the Orient and he's like, dude, I love catching shrimp. Here, press the button. Get one of these servants here. Throw me a shrimp.
Throw me a shrimp. If you miss, I'll hang you.
Oh, man.
So we leave the Biltmore house. And the main purpose
you're still on the grounds for another 20 fucking minutes of driving.
Well, that's the other one of the main reasons we went there is my wife's obsessed with ancient Egypt, pyramids, sphinxes, the King Tut and all that shit. Well, they have a
hot dudes with olive skin. Got it.
Yeah. They've got a King Tut exhibit on the grounds of the Biltmore. It's like you do it for like a couple months or whatever. It's like all about King Tut. Let me tell you about the janky ass fucking... Bro, I have been to elementary school science fairs that were put together better than this shit. And the funniest thing that happened, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it's like you go in, and as soon as we walk in, the lady hands us another one of those fucking pushy button things. And we go into the first room, and we're like listening to board one, and it's talking about ancient civilizations. And because my wife's obsessed with...
We believe this was the pyramid.
Well, because she's obsessed with ancient Egypt, and that's all we watch at nighttime is like... documentaries about ancient Egypt and all the kings and all that stuff. I, for the first time in my life, reading all this stuff, know how to pronounce all of these words because I've heard it on like, if you like Saqqara is one of the huge places in Egypt where there's a bunch of like all kinds of cool stuff going on, but it's spelled Saqqar. And I was like thinking to myself, I spent a good 2 or 3 minutes just looking at being like, it's a good thing I watched Discovery Channel. Because I would have been like, but it's Saqqara. And I know that. And then there's I'm on the spot now. I'll put myself here. But there's like a period in Egypt that's the Romani. No, those are gypsies.
Those are gypsies. It's also probably a noodle you can get.
So I'm on board number 1. And then this angry old lady in the
Ramses?
back. No. Fuck. It's going to kill me. It's one of the first kings that they were able to identify.
Ramses.
No, I don't know. Anyway, point being, I have watched a ton of ancient Egypt, and I've always said to myself, and out loud to her, which shows you how much she actually pays attention to this stuff. I'm like, now how do they know that this king was named this? Because I know they got the hieroglyphics, but how do you know?
Yeah, because you're reading bird.
Yeah, it's
you're reading
left,
well,
left
I
face,
say that, but then like we could have a whole conversation in emojis. So like
that's true.
I used to be like hieroglyphics.
But how do you know that
stupid.
that's what they meant by that? You got left facing bird, right facing bird, beetle, circle, triangle.
Eye with the thing underneath it, eye with the thing above it, sun, guy doing this thing,
and that is Tutankhamun. How do you get there from there?
Well, who's going to challenge you?
You know how you get there? Have you heard of a little thing called the Rosetta Stone? Mm-hmm. That. It has hieroglyphics into Latin. It's got it's the same paragraph 3 times. And all they had to do was be like, oh, this means that. It's a fucking cipher.
Yeah.
Okay. We were just discussing how do you read bird. I didn't realize the Rosetta Stone was the thing that unlocked hieroglyphics.
I didn't know it was hieroglyphics. I thought it was just ancient languages like Aramaic and shit.
Yeah, it was Aramaic. There's like 3 of them on there. I don't know which ones. I don't pay that much attention.
I'm not an ancient linguist, dude. You can look at this hat right now and tell me the only thing I speak's cowboy. You want to talk
it just
cowboy?
blows my mind that I spent my whole life being like, how do we really know that crow, hawk, snake means that? Because it's fucking translated right here.
Because we had a translator.
So I've just been yelling that at my TV nightly for years.
How the fuck you.
And my wife's like, I don't know, it's crazy. And then we get to the Rosetta Stone, and then she has the audacity to be like, yeah, of course that's. I'm like, bitch, you've been listening to me scream into the void for a year, and you cannot act like you knew all of a sudden.
Kayla jumped ship quick, dude.
It's fucked up, man.
Yeah. Because it's, I don't know, it's one of those things where like I could get tricked. Like I'm a decently smart guy. I had ChatGPT give me an IQ test, an IQ test. Tell you right now, smart as fuck, boy. It said, "Wow, you should apply to Mensa," and I was like, "Stop!
I'll quit."
You're just trying to get my data, dude. Shut up, dude. You don't care about me."
But you got that app?
Is there somebody I call? Is like they're on Instagram? I usually just DM everybody. I don't have like numbers anymore. But I did a little.
My cover letter's garbage. I'm just telling you right now. Don't judge me on my cover letter.
I did the ChatGPT thing, and like it gave me like 10 questions, and it was stupid shit. It was just like, what's the difference between which one doesn't fit? And it was circle, square, triangle, cube.
Cube, because it's 3D.
There you go. And if you do it quick, which you did a little slower than me, so you're probably gonna.
Well, my first thought was circle because it has no
angles.
lines.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks, but those are for stupid people. That's what Kayla said. But anyways, I was like, dude, I'm fucking smart as shit, dude. But then also, I'll watch a TikTok where people were like, they take the camera really close to the mirror and they're like, how does it see?
Dude, how does that work though, for real?
I know how it works because I used to do videography stuff. I know without even having to look it up how it works because light reflects via angles. So it's depending on where you're standing. The mirror's not seeing extra shit. But the way they frame the video and with their hype and their attitude, that's the only time where I've ever been like, how does it see behind the towel, dude?
Like, it takes me a minute to sit there and be like, okay, because it's an angular. But like initially you're like, wait a minute. It shouldn't be able to see that. Like, for real. Yeah, it broadens your horizon into the thing.
But it's like if you were to shine a flashlight into the mirror, it would like fucking bounce it at an angle.
Yeah, but it's right up against the fucking towel, dude. Like, you shouldn't be able to see around.
Yeah, the phone can't unless you move around.
You know what? I'm back on team mirrors or Vita.
Actually, now that I think about it, I just said that. I was like, but the camera's close. How does it know? What? Wait, no, the camera's over here. That's what's filming it. Never mind. The mirror doesn't know what's behind it. It's just a piece of glass,
no, but
right?
The camera's looking in this way.
Yeah.
And can see right around something that's like, they'll put something here. So like the microphone, my hand's the mirror. They'll put something up against it, but with something blocking it like that.
A towel or whatever.
Yeah, and they can still see this.
Yeah.
No matter what angle you're on, you would think that you wouldn't be able to see around something that probably sounded crazy because my mic was going everywhere. But anyway, it still blows my fuck. I thought about it for a minute. And I was like, I get it. Then I thought about it longer, and I'm like, I don't get it.
That's if I think about it another second, I'm going to convince myself I don't know.
So, all of this Biltmore Egypt talk led up to me telling you about the two dumbest bitches I've ever seen in my life. And it was so bad that me and Alex were openly laughing right beside, like, could not contain ourselves. So we go into the first room. This loudmouth bitch in the corner is like, movie starting in 10 minutes. Not like your presentation will begin shortly. Movie starting in 10. Got to be in here in 10 minutes. Movie starting. The movie was a 1 minute and 45 second portrayal of how they found King Tut.
Got to get good seats.
Yeah.
So you can watch effectively a YouTube video.
And I don't know if you're like me, but when I go in a room with everyone, like, everyone enters this thing at about the same time. Like, you have time frames, right? So we were the 2 o'clock group or whatever. We go in at 2 o'clock. I am now assessing my room. This is my group for the day. Like, be it the next hour or the next 5 months, these are my people for now. So I am now weighing myself against all of these people. I'm like, I can fuck him up. That bitch is dumb. If it comes to it, I'll repopulate with her and her and her. And like, I'm just seeing who's with me, right?
I feel like that's a very guy thing to do.
Yeah, I'm just vibing out the room, and I see a woman sitting front to the left of me who is, by all accounts, just a crunchy hippie mom who's super into making sure her homeschooled children get a full value of life. You know, she's like, we don't, like when the kid does something wrong, instead of being like, fucking stop it, they're like, no, we don't do that.
Do we want to understand why that's wrong?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how that affects other people.
That type of mom, right?
Yeah. When they start trashing the place, they're like, you don't know what she's going through. Like, it's a kid. Beat her ass. Dude. I'll beat your kid, dude.
And then, you got your typical North Carolina, East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia trash people in there.
Yeah, the ones that are like, someone needs to beat that kid.
Yeah. So I'm looking at all those, and I'm like, of all the people here, I'm going to say the knowledge of the things that we're looking at today, it's probably me and Alex up pretty high, because we spent a lot of time doing research, although I didn't know what the Rosetta Stone was. And then this mom is probably fighting.
You just thought that was language software?
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I thought that was a
Duolingo's
CD
work,
that you bought at Books A Million whenever you were like going on a
I
trip to
knew
learn
it was
Spanish.
referencing something that had to do with language trans. I didn't know it was the thing that I've been complaining shouldn't exist. Like,
Now, I don't know what a Duolingo is, but I know that a Babelfish is also a thing that goes in your ear and helps you speak. And then I know a Rosetta Stone helps people crack the code.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck a Duolingo is.
I think
I don't
just
think it has a
means two
reference.
languages. Duo, two. Lingo, language.
Yeah, but
I think it's Latin for two languages.
They've got like a billion languages on there, dude.
Yeah, but you're learning two. The one you know and another one.
Oh man, I used to work at gas stations, so I was like, these Indian dudes keep talking shit about me. I'm gonna fucking learn, and that way I can listen.
Did you do Duolingo?
Yeah, but here's the problem. They've got like 800 fucking dialects over there, motherfucker. And I was like, God damn it. I was like, so I was trying to learn Gujarati for a while, and I was just like sitting there listening to it, and I'd go in and I'm like, oh shit, this ain't the right one.
Run that back one more time. Just if you were to put a name on the region that you are speaking, yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we leave,
And it's impolite to just ask because there's no way to just be like, what kind of brown are you?
I'm really trying to expand my culture, and I want to specifically learn your language. Why yours? Because I believe that you are, in fact, talking shit to my face.
Do you believe in elephants or Allah? I got it. Geographically, we could be a mile different, by the way.
Wanians worship cows, right? Is that a thing?
I like beef my damn self, dude. I think it's a superior meat. Pork chops are fine. Ribs are good. But I mean, dude, it's hard to beat a steak. You ever been to Texas Roadhouse? Dude.
It's the hat. It's the hat.
No, I said this out loud, and I was joking, and I meant it. Because we were walking around in Vail. Everything's so fucking expensive up there. So we were walking around, and Kayla's like, I could go for a steak right now. So we were just walking around looking for a restaurant. We see a steakhouse in the bottom of this hotel. I don't remember what the fuck it was called. Slab Slice, one of those hipster one-word name places. We go up into it. They got the menu on the outside of the building. Normally, that's to turn people away because they're like, that's too expensive. I can't. So we go in there, and I look at the menu, and I'm just like, there's no prices. Should have been a red flag. We go to walk in there. A table of people who were just at the comedy show and had just seen me. They were like, hey, it's him. We ended up getting seated right next to them. So they were talking to me, and they were like chatting and blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
then the menus come.
Oh, no.
I open the menu. You can get a buffalo ribeye for the low price of $280.
Jesus.
I was like, what in the fiddler's fuck are we doing here? But what I wanted to do was just do what everybody else does. Oh, well, absolutely not. Close up my, we're living.
Get your things. I just have my purse.
What in the Ralph Lauren fucking speckled hell is this? Get me the fuck out of here, dude. Get me back to Gap where I can afford
Do you know how much steak is a pound right now at Walmart? Not this goddamn
Not
much.
this. I don't give a fuck if it's a buffalo. It's a dumb damn animal anyways, dude. They almost went extinct. If it wasn't for us, we brought them back. Should be a little more thankful. How about a discount, cocksuckers? I'm mad. But what I said was, that's not bad. I did the whole
There's people.
There's people right there. So I was like, Kayla, we're going to have to sit here and eat this. So we, like, the cheapest thing, oddly enough, was a filet. But it was like $60 a filet, which is like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I've been to steakhouses before for $60 for a filet. But let me ask you this.
Watch that happen. In real time, I watched a gnat go into his mouth and down his throat. I saw it happen here live. It came by, he swatted at it, it went around his finger, he breathed in as it entered his mouth. I know that's in his lung right now. Oh my God, that was awesome.
He went down the protein hole. All right, we're back.
After your little protein hit?
We decided to take a lunch break in between. So I went to craft services, got me a nice little gnat burger. So that was nice.
So anyway, we were talking about my King Tut experience. So it looks like a bunch of kids made dioramas. Like it's awful, right? And I don't know if you're aware of this, but King Tut was placed in multiple sarcophagi. So you go into the tomb room or the coffin.
Is that
room.
you pluralizing that word, or is that the accurate word?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sarcophagus doesn't sound right either.
So I assume it's like octopus. If it ends in a us. It's got to be I at the end.
So if you got a couple of Gus's in a room, you've
actually
got guys.
octopi. You know what the other alternative pronunciation for plural octopus is?
Octopussies?
Octipodes.
Oh.
Isn't that neat?
Octopussies sounds way
Why
cooler
do I
than
know that?
octipodes.
Anyway, So
Octopussy sounds great. Damn, there's a whole school of octopuses. Hell, I wouldn't mind taking a swim over there. How about that water's wet?
bottom tier James Bond movie, Octopussy. Not great.
I can't fuck with James Bond's movies. Just some rich British guy bitching about the temperature of drinks or something.
Yeah.
Murder. The old ones suck. The newer ones are lame too. I don't know. It's just hard to get behind like a fancy superhero.
I guess that's true. So in his coffin room,
With
you
his
walk in and the
sarcophagi.
whole room is filled with a gold gilded box, sarcophagus, right? And inside that, it's like Russian nesting dolls. There's another one that's just like the same thing, but a little smaller inside of that one. And it's just wide enough for people to like walk around on the inside of it, right? And then inside that's another one. And I think there's 4 in total. And then his casket. And inside that's another casket. And inside that is his casket with a mummy in it. So it's like just these layers of things, right?
Is it because they didn't want grave robbers to get in there?
No. Yeah, probably. I don't know. There's probably some kind of religious thing, like the more layers or what protection. I don't know. Anyway, grave robbers did get to the first room. They didn't get to the second room. The whole thing. Look it up. It's cool. If you're into that shit. You're probably not. Moving on. So
I clicked on a podcast called Trailer Fire, and they're just talking about some really poorly informed Egyptian
I have
history.
to lay the groundwork for this bit.
I ate a bug. It was the weirdest shit. they're like,
He put on a cowboy hat, ate a gnat, and then they talked about tombs. I don't know.
it seems like they don't know what they're talking about. But they're definitely pissed off about it.
So anyway, they have like a display, like a miniaturized version of what this would look like. And the boxes are literally just plywood box. You can still see the wood grain. And they just spray painted it with Rust-Oleum gold, right? That's the level that we're looking at of these.
$100 a ticket.
Yeah.
$100 a ticket gets you spray painted wood.
Yeah, it's like it's quite obviously just like a replica or whatever. So then we get to where they have like the King Tut mummy. They've got his coffin laid open. It's this gold gilded. It looks pretty decent. And then the mummy is quite obviously, what are you doing?
I'm looking up Disney tickets. Lots of people do this. One person will look up something, the other person continues the story.
Yeah, but I saw Mickey Mouse on your screen. It fucked
It's
me up.
distracting. Okay, this is what's pissing me off is you can go to $89 to get into Disney World, which I think that's low. I think it's about $100, but it just blows my mind that you can go to the fucking Magic Kingdom for the same price you paid to go to this shit show. Continue.
I don't remember how much the King Tut part of Biltmore was.
You had to pay extra?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, hold on.
It was like a combo ticket. You get access to the Biltmore and to the King Tut exhibit.
But that's in addition to the regular ticket.
Yeah, I think it was more because we had access.
So
to
there's like a poor ticket where you don't even get to see the slaves.
No, the Biltmore is the main attraction.
Yeah.
In a barn across the hill, they set up this King Tut exhibit. So, like, you can't go to the King Tut without going to the Biltmore. But you can go to the Biltmore without going to the King Tut.
Oh, I got you. It's an add-on, but it just blows my mind that you had to pay extra. I thought they were like, oh, we're also doing this. And since you paid it an exorbitant amount of money to
Look at an old ass house. Yeah, no.
we're going to throw in this fucking diorama of King Tut.
So we get to, the creme de la creme, the main attraction, and it is King Tut laid there in all his glory in a mummy. And this mummy is quite obviously great stuff foam insulation.
Hell yeah.
Just spray painted brown and dirty. It's the worst replica. I've made better mummies when wrapping my hand to wipe after pooping.
Dude, I've made some mummies.
It's the worst mummy I've ever seen in my life.
I've never thought about it like that. But sometimes when you can tell it's going to be a bad one and it's some extra thin paper, dude, I am practicing like being mummified.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm King Tutting it right now.
And then I turn it brown after. They just spray painted it brown.
I'm going to say that to my wife from now on.
I'm mummying in here.
You were in the bathroom for a while. I was like, yeah, baby, I was King Tutting it over there.
So
You got to stop buying that fucking single ply from Sam's Club. Damn.
Alex is so excited about this King Tut because she loves this shit, right? And as we progress through the thing, it's just a bunch of replicas of like the jewelry they found on the body. And it's like not even Claire's jewelry quality. It's obviously handmade by someone, right?
Oh, it's in Asheville. Her name is Star, and she's very good at it, actually.
It's awful. And I can watch her slowly like getting more and more sad as it goes on because she's like, I thought this was going to be way cooler than it is, and it keeps getting worse and worse. And then we get to the big room with the mummy, and then this fat trailer park bitch walks up to like the people who are making sure you don't steal the 4 cents worth of aluminum that is made into a bracelet, right? She's just standing there with her arms crossed. This fat bitch walks up and goes, now, is that the real King Tut? Bro, we lost our shit. And even this hick Asheville 70-year-old lady who doesn't even know what King Tut is goes, oh, God, honey, no. It's a replica. It's made in Germany.
That's great stuff, window and door. It doesn't swell as bad.
So
is that the real? Is that the real King Tut?
But the way so
what's a tariff on a King
now,
Tut?
is this the real original King Tut? No, you stupid bitch. So we're cackling over that. Like that lifts the spirits back up. And then we pass Crunchy Mom, the one I talked about earlier. And I'm like, I want to enjoy this laugh with another person. Like, I need someone else to realize how stupid this woman is. So I'm talking to Alex about this woman loudly.
Oh, yeah.
So that she can hear that we heard this woman ask if this is the real King Tut. So in order to do that, I am making fun. I'm like, now, is this the original glass display case from the tomb? Like the thing that's holding all the jewelry, making jokes about how none of this stuff was there or whatever. We circle around by her, and she leans over and quietly whispers to her cuck of a husband, I think they're all replicas. I was like, no, her too. Like,
she finally picked up on your thickly laid sarcasm.
She's like, she said, I think they're replicas. And I was like, no, bitch, how are you dumb enough to be on? We're in a room surrounded by idiots.
You procreated, dude.
I thought Crunchy Mom was going to be like, oh my God, did someone ask that? And I was going to have a moment with a stranger about like how dumb that bitch is. And I was the person who unleashed to her that all of this was fake.
Braylon, put that down. Those are very expensive. It's a priceless artifact.
That's
Those are 4,000 years old, you stupid bitch.
I got to hand it to Alex. She's like, no, all of this is real.
Was China a country in 4,000
That 11
BC?
pounds of gold right there worth more than the entire state of North Carolina. They're just leaving it out here for kids' booger fingers to touch. It's fine. Like she was on one. She was killing it for me. So that was our King Tut exhibit. But the fact that woman legitimately, honestly, earnestly asked if this was the real King Tut, followed by the only other person in the room I thought would be smart enough to laugh at that with me, being like, I actually think they're replicas. Bitch, we're in the 5th room. How did you... They're just out. A lot of this stuff I can reach over and touch.
I've been to escape rooms with better props than this, you dumb bitch. In fact, I wish they'd lock the doors right now.
The last thing was the chariot.
I love how you're just like her cuck of a husband. I'm like, yeah.
You know what he looked like.
Yeah.
I don't have to describe him. You were there.
He had one of those papal mousses. What? Wait, no, that's a flavor of sparkling water. What's that fucking papoose? Is that the thing that they have to wear? The baby backpack that they wear in the front. Yeah, fucking. What do you call those dumb fucking things?
LaCroix Pamplemousse. He shoved that damn toddler in his LaCroix Pamplemousse. And they walked right out of that Egypt exhibit.
Also, fuck off with a pamplemousse. Just call it grapefruit, okay? Pamplemousse makes me feel queer. It is Pride Month, so give me the pamplemousse, daddy.
It was one of those hilarious moments where like we were super let down by the whole thing and morale's at a low. That lifts it back up. The rest of the exhibit we drain back down. And we're just walking around hitting our buttons and listening. I'm like, gosh, she's got to be getting bored of this by now. We haven't said anything to each other for like a few minutes now. And the very last thing as you go out the exit door is the chariot. It's a replica. Calm down. Chariot that they found in there because you have to have a chariot to get into the afterlife. So they put chariots in the tombs with them. Gold plated and all that stuff. And they've got it sitting over.
Is there going to be a horse?
Yeah, apparently. Well, yeah.
Do they mummify the horses?
Well, no, but they do. Sometimes they actually killed them. Sometimes they didn't. But a lot of times they would make little statues of the living king's servants so that they could serve them in the afterlife. So it's like even
and
in
you
death,
thought overtime was bad.
even in death, you don't get to quit.
This motherfucker wants me to work on a Saturday. Who the fuck do you think he is, King Tut?
And it's all like hushed museum tones or whatever. So we get over to the thing and like I can tell Alex is pretty beat down about the whole thing. And we get to that chariot and it's sitting in a bed of sand. And we just go over there, and she just runs her finger through the sand, and she goes, "Probably took a lot of money to get this here from Egypt." Dude, she fucking crushed me again. She was on one, man. She
Is
was
it
killing
just me or are people getting dumber?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure.
This I don't know where this is gonna go, but this is just a personal gripe. All right, so I had a motorcycle that I let sit out for a few weeks
Yeah, you'll have that.
because it was cold and rainy and cold, rainy, cold, rainy.
I'll do the dishes.
Yeah, yeah. I went to start it, didn't start. And I was like, fucking battery's dead. I gotta go do battery. Because I'm not gonna try to fucking charge this because I live in an apartment and I don't have a garage, so I don't want to drag an extension cord 148 feet from my unit to this motorcycle. So fucking, I just go put another battery in there. I go to start it up, and like every fucking warning light goes on. I'm like, what in the fuck did I do? I just changed the battery, and it ran for like 5 seconds and died. But every warning light's on. I'm just like, I must have hit one of them newfangled computer shit. Turning to my dad, I'm like, it was easier to work on. It was just a carburetor and a spark plug. So
them damn computers in them.
I call the battery place Battery Plus, in case you're wondering. Those motherfuckers, they have batteries plus other things. Their name is perfect.
I thought it was batteries plus bulbs.
It might be batteries plus bulbs.
Yeah,
and
they got bulbs for sure.
they definitely have bulbs. They have like all. That's the thing. If you walk into like Bailey and Leaf, you're like, what the fuck is this? It's a shitty boutique. You're not gonna buy anything.
Batteries
fucking,
plus bulbs. You know what the fuck we're here for. And let me
I
tell
never
you,
even thought car batteries. Sure as shit. Yeah, car batteries. Cell phone batteries. Fucking double A's.
and any
single A's.
bulb, that weird bulb in your refrigerator that went out that's got like a cross backwards thread
Oh, yeah.
and is like half the length of a normal one but twice as wide. You're like, I need a refrigerator bulb, and it looks like they're like Samsung GE. GE is like, you need a 4760 one. It's right here.
Like-
God damn. You know your bulbs, don't you, buddy?
I don't know what they're doing to you people here. It seems like indentured servitude because you're just Gen Z. You guys are supposed to be assholes and bad at customer service, but you're fucking killing it at batteries and bulbs, let me tell you. So I called them up and I was like, hey, I changed this battery and I don't think it's the right voltage because it's fucking everything up. It's throwing a bunch of sensors
all
up.
12.
And the guy goes, I ain't never heard of that before. Are you sure it's I don't know. And he was just so flabbergasted.
Yeah.
He's like, just bring it back in. I'll give you a refund. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I brought it back in. Give you a
You're
refund.
goddamn right you will.
Charged the other battery, put it in, turned it on. Same problem. And I was like, fuck, I did it, didn't I? I fucking hit one of these newfangled ass computers. And I was like, it might be the spark plug. I should just change it. Probably bad gas. It's probably just bad gas, right?
That's always the first. It's bad gas and spark plugs.
Bad gas spark plugs. That's
Yep.
the first thing you say. But then I'm like, no, that's what poor dumb rednecks say. And then they never have anything that fucking works. I'm just going to call the dealership. I'm going to pay for the tow. I'm going to have a real man take care of my problem. This hat is
Fix this, daddy.
this hat is just a costume. Take my mullet back. Like, I don't need it. And so they come, they pick it up. I'm talking to the guy. I'm trying to talk all the shop. I'm like, well, hell yeah, fuck yeah. I love these scramblers. 900cc parallel twin, 270-degree crank. You damn right. I read the manual.
You're reading it off of the wiki.
I was like, hell yeah, got that off-road mode. I didn't know about that. I thought it was weak. 80 pounds of torque, can't even pop a wheelie. Put it in an off-road mode? Holy shit, I went 12 o'clock, hit a dank nooner. Didn't even know it was possible. That's a real story, by the way. Accidentally put it in off-road mode, and then I tried to pull out real quick, pop the clutch on accident because I got little fingers. I was like, damn, son.
So all those hours we spent in the parking lot at your old apartment trying to figure out or your old house.
Yeah,
The
trying to figure
apartment's
out.
behind y'all, trying to figure
It
out how to
paid
pop
off,
a wheelie.
bro. It paid off. I just needed a bike with a little more ass to it, motherfucker. This thing did it. So the real man comes. I'm talking to him. He picks up the bike. He takes it away. And it's at the dealership for days. And I'm just like, fuck, what did I do? I was like, I just changed the battery. Positive, negative. 2 things off. Put the new one in. It's plug and play. I'm like, what did I fry? I'm like, I didn't put them backwards. I'm panicking.
Yeah.
And I call him. I'm like, hey, can I get a check? And like, well, the guy who's here went to lunch. It was 2 o'clock. And I'm like, all right. So call back in an hour or so and we'll get back with you. Called back. That just didn't even answer. I was like, so I called the next day at 11. He's at lunch, honey. So
This
he,
bitch is a lunch taking this motherfucker.
God, random schedule. He just gets hungry whenever the notion takes him, dude. Is he intermittent fasting? I can't time this shit. Call back the next day at 8. He's not in yet. Call back the next day at like noon. And then they were like, let's take down your number. I'll have him call you. Of course, he doesn't fucking call me. So then I call back. It's a different lady. And I was like, hey, my name's Travis Stevenson. I've got a 2023 Triumph Scrambler 900. I brought it in because it wasn't starting because I didn't want to deal with any of the questions. She goes, you're going to have to hold on. I just got back from vacation. And I'm like, bitch, how the fuck am I supposed to know or care that you've been on fucking vacation? And then I said, okay, And then she goes, and we got a lot of bikes. And I'm like, no, y'all work on a lot of bikes at the motorcycle store? Fuck, I thought it was fan bulbs, batteries, and bulbs. What do you mean you work on bikes? She's like, you're going to have to hold on. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. We moved out of the holler, and I thought people would get smarter and slightly more capable. This is all this bitch does.
Yeah.
Is she answers the phone and gives people updates on their bikes. And she's like, hold on. And then okay. Then they're like, your bike's ready. You're going to have to come get it. I'm like, all right. So I go in there. Didn't even know how much it was going to be. And I was like, all right, what was wrong with it? And they're like, oh, it's bad gas. They said it was full of water. Had to change the spark plugs. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, all right, well, how much is it going to be? Like $300. And I'm like, oh. I
don't know how much spark plugs are. I Amazoned them.
That's the thing is like, I was on the cusp of just like, no, I need to be a real man. I need to change these spark plugs. I've done it before. I've done it on motor. I know what to do. And I was like, no, I'm tired of this. I'm not a real man. Let's let a real man fix it. And then he goes.
One time.
Takes him 5 days to do the shit that I was already gonna do. $300 fucking dollars. Thanks, Joe. And they gave me the tow for free, by the way.
Oh, well, how sweet. I will say I don't know any bike mechanics, but having a good, that's the worst part about moving to Tennessee is my Virginia mechanic, and it's too far to go to him now. But that man was an fucking G, dude. That guy, like my work truck, I've probably told you 100 times, it just doesn't start sometimes. Like crank won't start. And, I could not figure out cause it would only do it sometimes. And there's nothing worse than having something that only works or only breaks sometimes. Cause then you take it to them, you're like, it won't start. And they're like, started fine. I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, but it doesn't sometimes.
It's like when you go to the doctor and you're like, no, I'm telling you something's wrong. And they're like, you look fine to me.
Fine to me. So I took it to him and he kept it for a couple of days. And like on the second day he called me, he's like, finally got it to not start. I'm like, that's what you want your mechanic to say. Yeah. I finally broke your truck.
Yeah, yep. Or they'll say, I finally got it to repeat. They say repeat.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to use different words.
And shout out to him. He's like, so here's what it is. Ran diagnostics on it, put the big computer on it. They have a computer, then they got the big computer, and that's when shit gets serious.
Well, we took it off the handheld and we went to the big computer.
Put the big computer on it.
When he says big computer, as soon as you said that, I was just thinking, like, was he got a family Dell just sitting in there?
Fucking the desktop. Yeah. I'll tell you, that is a long USB cord. But we got her hooked up. Anyway.
You know how hard it is to find a Nissan that'll run on Windows 98? Had to update my drivers.
Had to call a Geek Squad.
You know how hard it is to find a fucking Geek Squad anymore? I had to drive all the way 2 counties over. And that Best Buy had one. I ain't got no geeks no more. Everybody's too cool.
You can't get kids to geek anymore.
I used to geek back in my day. And now they want them to geek for $12 an hour. And I'm like, God, that's a livable wage.
So he tells me put it on the big computer and figured out what it is. It's a neutral safety switch, which basically he dumbed it down for me. It means sometimes my truck thinks it's in gear when it's not. And I was like, all right, what's that cost to fix? He goes, well, that's the problem. I was like, oh, fuck, what we got? He's like, in that particular model of truck, it's built into the transmission. So the only way to do it is to pull the transmission and replace it. Here's the problem. A truck with that many miles, you pull the transmission, you're going to get a lot of metal flake and things like that going through it. You're probably going to have to replace the transmission. Now, I can find you a used transmission for $3,000 to $4,000. Brand new is going to cost you $9,000 to $10,000. Problem is, I can put it in, but I am not a certified Nissan mechanic, which means you're going to have to, even if I put it in for that price, you got to take it to Nissan, have them reprogram it, and they're going to shoot you up the ass on it. I was like, so I need to sell the truck. He goes, or put it in neutral and start it. I said, wait, what? He said, it's a neutral safety switch. Doesn't know if it's in neutral, park, or drive. Just switch it in and out of park neutral a few times. It'll fire up. I said, how long is that going to work? He goes, till it don't.
All right, well, this has been a Trailer Fire. If you want to catch me doing stand-up comedy, I'll be in Jonesboro, historic Jonesboro, Tennessee. I'll be featuring for Dale Jones. Ooh.
Nice.
That's going to be fucking cool. I'll be in Knoxville doing a Barrel House comedy show Tuesday, June 24th. And then I will be in Clearwater, Florida, Clearwater Comedy Club, Thursday, July 3rd. That's a lie. It's Wednesday, July 2nd. I will be in Clearwater, Florida. So if you are in the Tampa, St. Pete, Pie, Clearwater area, which I think that's home to the Scientologist. So if you want to get clear with me and come check out your photons and phenons and whatever the hell you guys believe in, let's get weird. Come out to Clearwater, see your boy do comedy.
I don't have any comedy dates to plug. I will be participating in the second game of the baseball season. I missed the season opener because my wife's stupid birthday, but it's fine. So I'll let you know what the batting average is weekly. Keep everybody updated on that because I know a lot of people are concerned.
It's Boondock Murph on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. And I've also been doing a little streaming at night here and there. I don't have a schedule or anything, but it's twitch.tv/BoondockMurph.
You look good with a feather in your hat, brother. All right, this has been a Trailer Fire. We love you guys. Like, subscribe, tell a friend if you enjoy this podcast. Help spread the fire.
We got to come up with something different.